None of us are perfect. Because of pride, we tend to want to hide our humiliating mistakes. War stories where we have to learn from humiliating experiences, that's where the gold is. If you can just humble yourself and share those kind of experiences, people can learn from your mistakes. I recently had a big one. Hey guys, retired Lieutenant Todd Heaton here with Humilitas First. Last month I gave a talk in Michigan on situational awareness. One of the aspects of my talk touched on navigating gas stations in high crime dangerous areas, especially after dark. This B-roll purportedly shows a dangerous neighborhood in Detroit, Michigan. In the talk, I taught that if you have a complete failure in planning, that's part of logistics, and you find yourself running on empty in a high crime dangerous area, then just pay at the pump and only add enough gasoline to get to a relatively safer area where you can fill your tank to the brim. Well, guess what happened to me? I'm on the interstate approaching Gary, Indiana when I see the orange gasoline light pop on, and it's at night. Now let me tell you how I found myself in these bad circumstances. The short answer is pride, laziness, and a lack of utilizing a disciplined approach. My problem started in the planning stage, specifically the fact that I didn't do any planning. I didn't do the research. Executive protection calls this the advance. Why didn't I do research? Well, I made bad assumptions. I knew there was a lot of high crime dangerous areas around Joliet and Chicago. So I just decided that I would always get gas prior to Joliet, driving north, and I would fill up before leaving the relative safety of the smaller community in Michigan, heading south. Well, that plan has worked out great until I got distracted. So the talk that I gave went really well, and I received a lot of great feedback and interest in potential future training opportunities. So as I'm leaving the venue, I'm like very distracted because I want to call my wife and share the good news. My tank is already low, but I'm distracted. So I just forget to fill the tank and I start heading south. That first phone call led to a second phone call of one of my best friends as day gives way to night. I'm getting exceedingly close to Chicago. And this is the one place that I had decided in my arrogance that I would definitely not be stopping for gas. I tell my friend I have to let him go. I knew that I needed to give all of my focus and attention to observing and thinking my way through this problem. I see Gary, Indiana exits coming up. Now, I don't have any knowledge of Gary, Indiana. I've never been there. And because I failed in doing the research, well, that sounds like a nice place, Gary, Indiana. How bad could it be? It definitely sounds better than the peripheries of the south side of Chicago. So I exit and I stop. Upon getting off the interstate, it becomes abundantly clear to me I'm in a high crime dangerous area. So I pull my dark hoodie up over my head to conceal as much as I can about who I am. I pay at the pump. I add just under 2 gallons of gasoline to the tank. I rack the pump and thereby have radically reduced my time in this area of higher vulnerability. I get back on the road. Traffic starts backing up. So I don't know if there's a car broke down, a crash. I don't know what the problem was. Usually I don't have a problem on a Saturday evening heading back home, but traffic's backing up. I'm going to have to stop again. Normally, I'm only paying attention to safely navigating this interstate since there is no shortage of aggressive drivers. However, since we're now in heavy traffic, I start looking off to my left and to my right. And from what I can see, it looks like I might be in a much better area for stopping to get gas, which I did, and it was a much better area. After getting back home, I go ahead and do the research. I can see just how bad my choice was to stop where I did in Gary, Indiana. Also, I can see the secondary location that I stopped to get gas because of the traffic. See all this green over here? Green indicates good. It indicates it's a much safer area. The red indicates very bad, that first place I stopped. Here's the bottom line. Had I just done the advanced research in the first place, then I would have had the knowledge that stopping where I did actually increased my risks of possibly having to deal with the violent confrontation. Had I been equipped with that knowledge, then I would have known I can just wait a few more miles, which I certainly had enough left in the tank to do that, and then I could have avoided all these additional physical, legal, civil, and material risks that went along with stopping at a gas station in a high crime dangerous area on a Saturday night after dark. The first step in conducting your own research is use something like I did here, crimegrade.org. Click on the violent crime tab and just zoom out. Then you can get a clear picture of what's what as it relates to violent crime.